Hello, everyone. Welcome to the excuse me, to the SewShare, the Sewing Workshop Trunk Show. I am your host, Vicki Howell from Team SewShare. This is one of our favorite ways to spend some time at SewShare.com when we're not sewing, of course, and that is bringing you really intimate events like this. We want these events to feel like it's a bunch of friends hanging around, talking about what we love most sewing. Excuse my voice a little bit. I'm in Austin, Texas, and we have terrible allergy season happening right now, and that is what this rasp is. So bear with me. For those of you who are new to SewShare, just really quickly, SewShare is on a mission to connect fellow sewists like us, enthusiasts, and maybe newbies, people that have been doing it forever, just connecting us with the community that we need and the project finishing knowledge that we want, and the small businesses and designers that we love, and the supplies that we must get our hands on right now. And it's because SewShare is started by sewists, like all of us here. We're all sewing fangirls at SewShare, and so we want to hear about all of the things that you want to hear. And anytime that we can pass it along, we're going to. And that is what this event is today. If you're here with us live, and you're not already part of the SewShare community, please, after this is over, join SewShare.com. It's free. It will always remain free. That is where the replay will be. So even if you are watching it later on SewShare.com, also tell a friend. So sharing is caring, as we say, and we would appreciate you spreading the word. You can also download the app from wherever you get your apps. And when you go over to SewShare.com or the app, be sure to check out our newest feature. I'm really excited about this. The whole team is. It's called Stitchbook. It's a digital project planner. There's nothing like it in the sewing world. And I just finished a monster project myself, and I used Stitchbook to plan the whole thing and document all these. It was a big costume for a kid, and there were so many alterations and so many things that I had to do, and I've got everything in one place. And I was just so happy to have Stitchbook. So I'll tell you a little bit about that later, but make sure that you check that out later. All righty. I think that you're all here for one reason, so we should get started. Let's get on with the trunk show. I'm so happy. I don't to bring on Betsy and Erin, who are from the sewing workshop, who I don't think needs any explanation, but they are another female-led company, which we love to support. Um, Pattern designs, classes, fabrics, all of you amazing sewists. They really do a lot. They've got hundreds of designs. And I love that they're all a little bit jauntily askew, a little bit asymmetrical. That is my plan moving forward for sewing. So I'm always excited to see what they put out next. So this session is going to be part trunk show, part info session. You're going to get behind the seams on some of the garments that have been chosen today. The focus, though, will be on collars and stands. So you're really going to gain some knowledge here and, come out on top, as it were. All right, without further ado, I am going to bring in Betsy and Erin.
Hi,
Welcome,
hello.
welcome. Hello, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for
Of course.
having
Thanks,
us.
Vicki.
And again, apologies for Raspy Town, USA.
You're fine. It's allergy season everywhere.
Although it does give kind of Demi Moore, so maybe I'll
Yeah,
keep
totally.
it.
Definitely.
Um, I I have a hunch that almost everybody here knows the ins and out of the sewing workshop, but I do see a couple of people from my other world, the knitting world,
Oh,
who
really?
maybe are just tiptoeing in. So would you mind telling a little bit about your company? I neglected to mention that you are in Topeka, Kansas, but
Mhm.
also just sort of the overall aesthetic besides jauntily askew and asymmetrical, because you can do better than that. If you wouldn't mind talking about that a little bit, I would love that.
Sure.
Yeah, so you mentioned, the sewing workshop is a pattern company. So that's, our love is creating and designing our own patterns. And we also have education programs with in-person classes, whether they're here in Kansas or whether they're actually throughout the world, which is pretty amazing thing to do. And then we also sell fabric and notions and basically, we like to have everything that you would need to sew a garment. The things that we love, the products that we love, and that we use every day. So that's what we do here at the sewing workshop. And I guess you said describing who we are, like
Ooh,
what
Well, I
our
mean,
designs are.
you don't have to
They're aesthetic.
dig in
Yeah.
deep, but just
I
the
mean,
overall aesthetic, and you have a very, very clear portraiture. Brand identity, but it's a little bit more than that, I feel like, when you're makers. I guess identity in general. So maybe if you would talk a little bit about that.
well, I think like in terms of our aesthetic, we do have basic patterns. We have ET shirts, it's called the ET. We've got your basic things, but what we really love are garments with a little bit of a difference. So as you mentioned, asymmetric or asymmetrical hems, different kind of sleeves. We look a lot at designer wear. We look a lot, high-end ready to
Mhm.
wear. Um, a lot of our older patterns were really influenced by like Japanese designers. So
Mm,
it's
I
something
see
a
that.
little bit different that like maybe not another pattern company is going to offer. So
Right. So you might see a simple short sleeve button down shirt, but it's going to have an added sleeve band or asymmetric shoulder line, asymmetric hem. A little flounce, some gathers, just something that's going to take a simple design and elevate it.
yeah,
Well, and some of those things that you just mentioned, I would assume are from the runway in a garment that may be unwearable in daily life. I mean, I don't know. You do you, but in daily life, but you bring just like you pick a key element and put it within a garment that is simple and wearable so that the
Mhm.
sewist can wear couture, can feel the vibe without it being sort of unrealistic, realistic for daily life. And I
yeah.
love that about it.
And with our instructions and we've worked on those for 30 years. And so we really try to set our sewists up for success so that they are sewing on a really high-end level. So it doesn't look handmade. Um, that's our
Very.
goal, is to make everybody a great sewer.
And today, I mean, I think I wouldn't be overstating how the avoidance of collars, um, especially with stands, because of that very thing, because of it's a
Mhm.
little bit more precise because there's less flounce.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons I think, Betsy, that when you and I spoke originally, that you thought this would be such a good idea because it's something that can carry on over classic designs all the way to couture.
Yeah.
So why don't we dive right in and you can start talking about the construction as we go and with the garments and everybody that's here with us live, keep an eye in the chat. There'll be links to all of the patterns. If you're watching later, they'll be in the show notes down below. All right, I'm going to take myself out. Go
Okay.
ahead and
Okay.
take it away. I mean, I'll be here, but
Yeah.
nobody will see me.
Yeah, so we pulled a number of like what we consider like shirt and collar shirts. So they do have a
Mhm.
different kind of collar. Like we said, we have like literally hundreds of patterns. But we wanted to share some that we thought are particularly interesting and give you some tips for making them so that you don't get overwhelmed or intimidated by the idea of a collar and stand because they're not as scary as you think. So,
Right. I think we want to, like you said, set you up for success,
yes.
give you very clear instructions and illustrations. And that's why we also love the education aspect of sewing, is so we can help you, like every tip and trick that we learn or that we kind of have started to do along the way, we want to, you know,
Share it with you?
share it with you.
Yeah.
So, all
So
right.
where should we start?
Well, you want to start with
Yeah.
the bird here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is one of our newer patterns. I think it's as close to you. It's called the Byrd blouse. We came out with it last year. This is one of my favorite blouses. She has a beautiful yoke with a little bit of a gathered bodice. She's got a lovely full sleeve that is gathered at the bottom. Um, she's got a tie at the waist so you can bring it in and like a little bit of a peplum. And then we've got a just simple collar that goes straight into the yoke.
Right. So this is just the collar. So we do have, I noticed in all of our garments, we have quite a few that just have collars like this one. But we might have other garments that have collar and stand or just the band. So we have a lot of variety. So we're going to show you all those different things.
Would you mind just giving a quick definition of stand versus stay? There's some words here that maybe we might be unfamiliar with, just to give us kind of that base level knowledge. And
Right.
also, as a side note, I just saw that we had a note from Susan that said that she absolutely improved in her sewing when she started
Oh,
using
good.
using the sewing workshop patterns. So that's
Oh,
wonderful.
that's
Hey,
great.
thank you, Susan. So, well, here
Okay.
you can get.
So this is the Burwick pattern. And as you can see on the Burwick, this one just has a either collar band or just a stand. We kind of use those two words interchangeably, but collar stand is what we typically like to say. So this is the narrower piece that typically would attach to the neckline. I would say kind of a traditional rounded shape here. I don't know if you can see that. There
Yeah.
we go. Has this rounded shape here. So that would be your collar stand.
So the Burwick just has the stand, but then your classic shirt, which is the cottage shirt, you can see
I love that fabric.
how the stand is here and then the collar fits right into it. So that's your like classic collar and stand. You'll see it on, ready to wear shirts, men's shirts are collars and stands.
Right.
That is, I think, the most basic form of a collar.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect.
But this Byrd example just has the collar, so you can have that as well. So you can, it just has a collar, but it does roll down in the way that it would roll down if you had a band. So you can kind of see how it stands up at the neck, but it's just one piece and it's just in the shape of a traditional collar.
Love it. I love it. And this one, that fabric is really, really amazing as well. I love the birds. They're very on theme. And puff sleeves are having a moment right now. They really are. Any form of, gathered puff sleeve.
Yeah. So this is a cotton fabric, and we actually had it designed for us. It was a limited edition fabric by the textile designer Sarah Campbell. So we love this fabric. But one thing that we like to do here is play with fabric. So we actually have multiple fabrics to show you for each pattern because it really can change the way a pattern can look. So you'll notice in this cotton, you get a lot of the ruffle and you really see the shape. But if you make it in a rayon, it's suddenly much drapier and much
Wow.
more of a
Wow.
lengthened situation.
Yeah, when we put this out, it was interesting to see what fabrics people chose to make it in. Initially, we said, oh, it needs to be extremely drapey. Even like this cotton was not quite as drapey as we initially imagined. And then customers started making it, and they were making it in medium weight, like a denim or, more of a jacket weight. And it was fantastic. So that's the amazing thing about seeing our customers start to make things is their minds, their imaginations are going and they'll take the pattern to another level. So fabric really does make a difference.
Yeah.
It also just adds to the value of the patterns too, because you can make that for casual on the go for linen. I would be interested in seeing it in like, I don't know, like a taffeta or some kind of brocade might be too heavy, but just it would just be fun to see what might work with it. It would have a lot of structure, and that's the same pattern. So you
Yeah.
don't have to, when you go and buy something and invest, you don't have to think of it in as just one type of wardrobe piece.
Oh no, we
Right.
we are big proponents of playing with it. So we play with fabrics, we play with with all sorts of things. Like you mentioned a brocade, that would be amazing. I would probably leave off the waist tie and wear it as
Yeah.
a jacket.
That would be amazing. And I
No.
love the idea of a fabric that would show off the fullness. You know, if you're going to wear this kind of volume on the sleeve, you might as well
Show
love
it
it.
off.
I mean,
Yeah.
do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. If you're
exactly.
Oh,
gonna
that's
make
really,
a
really
commitment.
cool. Do you have another fabric in that one? Or are we moving on to the next one?
I think we're moving on to the
Moving
next
on.
one. We
Let's,
did mostly rayons and cottons in that so far,
Mhm.
but maybe now we'll do a brocade and next time we'll show you that.
Right.
I mean, I have some here. I may jump on that for sure.
Yeah,
Oh,
right?
Okay,
great
Yeah.
idea.
let's see what's next. Oh, and as a side note, as you're getting inspired and you're going to SewShare.com, there is a forum that is only the sewing workshop that where you can actually interact with other sewists who love the sewing workshop. It's a place to find community, and the sewing workshop team jumps in every once in a while and answers questions. So you can take all of that you love and share it with each other. And that's just all at SewShare.com.
Yep.
All right. So I guess we kind of touched on this, but this again, this is the Cottage shirt, and it's actually what I'm wearing as well. So you can really see the difference in the different fabrics on this one.
Yeah, this is a light cotton lawn. It's a lovely summer fabric. It's
Mhm.
almost sheer, but not quite. But this is kind of our version of like a camp shirt, like a classic camp shirt. So it's got a straight body, loose fitting, and then it's got these interesting sleeve bands.
Mhm.
We've got it in a linen.
This printed linen is really fun. It has a really nice deep hem, which I think is a really interesting detail on a simple garment, and then a deep vent on the sides.
Oh, I love that.
And then it has a yoke in the back, which I think is great. And there's that collar and stand.
Mhm.
I
So
have
the
that
one
one on my wish list right now.
it's
I
a
do.
this is one of those shirts that you can wear with everything.
Yeah.
It's been a really popular one for us.
Right. And you can really play with it. Like this one here that Betsy has. We have different fabrics that we've used on this one. And this is an example of what we do. We play with the patterns. You know, we made the collar a
Ah,
little bit bigger.
look at that button band.
And then we,
The under collar is green.
yes, look at
Love it.
that. The poplin for the under collar.
And then the placket is a gingham.
Love it.
And then on the back, we did a little piping in the gingham between the yoke and the body.
Mhm.
Stop it.
Yeah, we love
Stop it.
them.
Can
We
you
love
show that again? That is
Yeah.
Here, we'll show it a little closer.
oh, look
This
at
is a
that
good
wee baby
stash
piping.
buster.
It is because when you start thinking of it like this, then you can use different fabrics for all different pieces. The
Mhm.
other thing, this particular pattern has a really deep 6-inch hem,
Oh,
which is lovely because it's like a really weighty look to it. It really holds it down. And on this particular one, normally you would just fold it up like
yeah.
a hem, but she did a separate piece so that it's got the
Mhm.
color to it.
So fun. Oh, that's so fun.
We love
Love
that.
it. If you're not playing with fabrics in that way, does it call for a piping in the same fabric,
Nope,
or is that just a little special
that
flip?
was just
Okay.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that was just
piping,
fun.
yeah, was an extra piece.
Yeah.
So, and same with the hem, you know, and but we love to play with these patterns and change them and
Yeah.
create new shapes and new fabrics and combinations, and it's fun to play.
It looks like we have a question from Mira. Hi, Mira. It's good to see you. Um, she has the pattern but hasn't made it yet. Erin, she would like to know what size that you're wearing and also what fabric that is, what type of fabric that is.
This is a medium, and it has been lengthened a bit. Does tend to be a shorter shirt. Let me see. I guess that's one thing about changing things so often. I have to check and see which is the correct length. But I do believe this one has been lengthened, and this is a linen cotton gauze.
So it's
So
got a natural crinkle to it.
yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
how
it's
close
kind
I
of
can
hard
get.
to see.
So, but very comfortable, perfect for this time of year, very lightweight and
Breezy.
breezy.
All right. Well, she can't wait to make it. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. What do we have next?
So, this is a fun one.
This brings in the asymmetric aspect.
Yeah, this is your asymmetric hem here. This is the 9 lives.
So it has not only an asymmetric line at the bottom, so the hem is angled down towards the left, but it's also asymmetric at the shoulder.
Yeah, so one shoulder line is longer than the other.
Mhm.
So when you put
Really?
it on, there's a really beautiful drape to it. And you can, so it doesn't really have a sleeve per se, but if you're a person who needs to cover their arms, it's a nice overshirt over like, maybe like a tighter knit shirt. But we often just wear it as it is.
Right. Again, this time of year, it's perfect because it does add a little coverage over the shoulder, but not a traditional sleeve. And then it has this nice collar. So no stand, just collar.
Oh, that is amazing. I hadn't noticed that you had carried that asymmetric asymmetry. There we go. There's the one. That is so clever. And I love that it'll give it just sort of that like kind of easiness, that sort of confidence. Also, I'm about to go wish list this. I wanted to just mention, if you go to the sewing workshop store while you're over there checking out all of the other things, you'll see if under the pattern you can click on the heart and it'll add it to your wish list so that you don't forget that you want to buy this pattern later and make it. I'm definitely going to be doing that. I'm currently in my asymmetrical era.
I like it.
Oh, well, you've come to the right place.
Yeah. All right.
So these are both linens. You can see, obviously, you can see the shape a little bit better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's why I brought this out here.
And you could lengthen this if you wanted it a little bit longer. It's a nice kind of high hip length, but you could easily lengthen this if you wanted it a touch longer.
Be great as a tunic.
Or a dress.
Oh, that is good.
Why we haven't done that before?
I know. Betsy and I always have goals of making everything into a dress.
Everything into a dress.
That'll be the next trunk show.
Yeah, exactly. How we make everything into a dress.
You heard it here first. All right, what's next?
Let's talk about the Burwick, since she's sitting right here. We showed you this earlier. This is the garment that just has the stand. So again, it's that thin little strip at the top with the curved edge, but instead of also adding the collar, we just cut it off. This is a tunic. We've made it in a rayon. It's got a little skirt, for lack of a better word, at the bottom.
Oh, interesting. Almost like tails.
It's got a hidden button placket there, so you don't see them. It's got a really lovely vented sleeve. This is a great piece. This is, something you can wear with anything. You can do, we've done it with like a slim pant, but you can actually wear it with like a little bit of a wider.
One we have made into a dress.
Yes, yes, of course. Actually, I'm working on one right now.
That's right.
Tune in later.
And this is another version in a rayon, a viscose linen, actually, and in a white and black combination with some embroidery on one of the pants. This is an embroidery piece that Alex from Sewing Workshop did. It's just a nice little addition to a simple garment.
What I love about this one is another thing that we like to do, which is add touches. So you can see the red button at the top, the red button on the sleeve, just the addition of the white band at the sleeve while the other one's fully white. This is a great one for color blocking because it's just all these different colors.
God, it really makes it an art piece.
Yeah. And so you can see this fabric is just like a little bit heavier, a little bit more stable than the rayon, but it still works even though it doesn't have the floatiness that maybe you would otherwise expect.
Right.
This one would also be a cool coat in a heavier fabric. It might be interesting.
We have made one that buttons all the way down and it's in a medium weight denim or more medium weight chambray, and is really great. So that was a good option.
Yeah, that's really, really great. Let me just pause and make sure that I haven't missed any questions. If you have any, Does anybody have any questions about anything that we've talked about so far? You can either raise your hand or you can put it in the comment section, or you can take yourself off the mic and just start talking.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know we see quite a few familiar
Yeah.
faces.
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
Okay. It
There's
looks
Elaine.
like
Hi, Elaine.
oh, look at this. It looks like we're good so far, but please, anytime throughout this, if you have a comment or a question, just raise your hand or whatever. I'll bring you in. If you don't want to be brought in, I won't do that, but you can tell me and I will I'll ask the question for you or make the comment for you. Okay, I think we're good to go to keep going.
Well, do you want to talk about our newest pattern?
Yes, let's do that. So this is our newest pattern that we came out with last month. This is the LaFonda. So a little backstory. So we do a workshop in Santa Fe for the past 3 years, and there's a beautiful hotel called the LaFonda. Has a
I've stayed
special.
there.
Oh,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
that
it's great,
fantastic?
isn't it?
Yeah, this your brand in general, just like I mean, it just exudes like Santa Fe. It really does.
Yeah.
Like the cool, like the all the cool ladies that you see with fantastic glasses and
Yeah.
big jewelry. Love it.
So named after that beautiful hotel. And so this is it's a blouse, or you can make it as a jacket. But it has some really amazing details. It has the hidden placket here at the front, a very wide placket. It has a collar and stand, patch pockets on the front. We're really diving into this full sleeve. So this one is a two-piece sleeve with the elastic at the bottom. And then the back has two panels, the upper panel and a lower panel. And then it's finished at the bottom with a drawstring.
Excuse me, we're not seeing the jacket. We're seeing you, not the, there we go. Thank you.
Okay. So I can kind of run through those again. So it has this great collar and stand detail up here, and throughout it has these bias strips, which is a really fun detail. It adds a pop of color, a pop of a new design to each element of the jacket. So we added it to the collar. It has a wide hidden placket here at the front.
Deep
it
pockets.
has very deep patch pockets. Again, here is the bias. And then it has a full sleeve, two-piece sleeve with, again, the bias strip here, elastic detail at the bottom, drawstring detail at the hem, and then the two pieces in the back.
So this is a cotton lawn.
Mhm.
So it's a very lightweight fabric. So like that we would consider maybe more of a blouse weight.
Right.
You could wear it
Mhm.
just whatever.
Right.
Whereas this version is a heavier jacket weight. And it works just the same. So you can do it either way. This you can really see your bias trim, which is really fun.
In the pattern, we do have two collar options. And so we have this rounded collar like this jacket, and then on the blouse, it was a straight collar. But they both have the stand.
And you can see once again, we did a different fabric for the under collar and stand.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just a fun little, it's just a fun little surprise.
I really love
No
that
one sees
detail.
it but you.
Right.
Then you pop it. Everybody can see it.
And then on this one, we did add a different fabric for the plackets. The fabric was a little heavier, so we wanted to, we didn't want it to be heavy throughout all those layers. So we did add a separate just cotton check.
And it looks like we have a question from, excuse me if I mispronounce your name, Jani or Yanni. Is the cotton lawn LaFonda lined?
No, it's not.
What you're seeing is the facing.
Oh, yes.
There's a facing in the back. And I think that's what you're seeing.
Mm.
let's unbutton her. Um, yeah, so you can see that there's a facing in the back here, and then it just goes back to the regular fabric. So it
Excellent.
looks like it's lined if you don't see
Mhm.
the bottom, but
Right.
yeah.
You could line it if you wanted to make a jacket and you wanted the jacket lined, you know, lining is always a great option.
Love it.
Right. So now we come to the Venice. And the Venice is like, it seems like a great basic shirt, and then it's got some twist to it.
Little
Of
surprises.
course. So we've got a, pretty straight front here. You've got your collar. It is a collar and stand all in one. So now we have a new one. So let me bring it close to you so you can see it. So you can see here that you've got your collar, and then the stand is already attached to it. So you have your curve like your classic stand, but it's all one piece instead of two pieces. And then it just rolls in the same manner that it would if it was a separate stand. So that is, I think, the third kind of collar we've seen is the all-in-one. We have a ruffle down at the bottom. We have a great 2-button detail.
Oh, cute.
All the way down, very cute. A sleeve with a little vent panel. It's got a little tuck there, but on the back is the showstopper. The ruffle goes up vertically into the back, and then there's a vent, a 3-button vent right there.
So clever. Is that another design that you took from the runway, or is this just something where I'm not sure did Linda design this or did one of y'all design this?
It would have been in the Linda Kathy era, I'll call it. I know this detail was something that we found. And you can maybe see it a little bit
Oh,
more in this cotton. So you can see that round design with the 3 buttons and the gathered panel at the bottom. So very classic in all senses of the word, but
a little something.
A little extra with the ruffles and the button details.
But the thing is with a shirt like this, you make one with a ruffle, and then if you're like, oh, I just need like a plain button-down shirt, then you just leave the ruffle off. You can cut it off, and then you've got 2 patterns in one because you can work with the basic shape to make what you need with it.
Right. We do have quite a few customers that they want to get the perfect fit at the shoulders and at the neck and in the bust and, those sort of things. So I feel like that's a great idea. Once you get all those things fitted, then you can really start to play with it and add and delete details.
Really, really nice.
And we have done it with like short sleeves, and it's a little bit shorter. It's a good one to play with because it is pretty easy to manipulate.
Yeah, we have a sleeveless version. So we really have played with it and kept the ruffle detail, of course.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot, it's got these darts at the top.
Bring that a little closer.
Yeah.
These interesting shoulder darts
So
here.
it fits really well in the shoulders.
Oh, fascinating.
We don't have a lot of darts in our patterns, but when we do, they're usually in interesting places.
Unexpected places.
Fascinating. Fascinating. You mentioned different sleeve size or sleeve lengths, and I know that you're wonderful about including a lot of that in your patterns, but for people who are starting to play and experiment and they want to maybe change the length of the body or of a sleeve in a garment that's asymmetrical or is A-lined or flowy, but might be a little nervous, do you think that you could maybe speak to that just a wee bit, just sort of give a general direction of what maybe not to do and what maybe will bring a little more success?
Well, we do have lengthening and shortening lines on our pattern. So whether it's the front, the back, a sleeve, so we have a double line where you would cut across that in order to shorten it or lengthen it. So that's, I'd say, the first step in a successful lengthening and shortening is having that appropriate place to do it. And then In certain instances, if you're only going to lengthen it, you would just cut along that line. You might lengthen it an inch, and you would true the sides to make sure say the underarm down to the hem of the sleeve has a nice shape. You might round it a little bit, and that's how I would lengthen it. But I think that one of the key things is starting with that lengthen and shortening line and going from there.
Yeah. And you have to with sleeves, some sleeves are going to be easier than others. Like these are easy to do. But if you go with the cottage shirt, which Erin has on, you can't do much to it because of the way the sleeve is. So you can see, especially, I'm going to make you put that down for a second, on her, that most of what you're seeing on the sleeve is the garment itself, and then this is just the band. So some garments like that, like the most you can do is maybe lengthen the band a little bit, but you can't really do it too much on that one because it starts to look a little funny. So you really need to also look at the pattern itself and know if it's going to work, and be successful in that.
And another thing is, and this goes for all beginning steps of sewing, is measuring. So, measure your body, measure the pattern, look at pattern measurements that are included with the pattern, and that'll give you a good indication on that beginning step of, do I want to lengthen it? Do I want to shorten it? And sometimes we even suggest, like, if you have a t-shirt that you love, the length of the sleeve or the fit in the body, take that into consideration and measure it against your pattern. And sometimes that can be a good indication on any changes that you want to make.
Yeah, don't be afraid to look at what's in your closet that you already have that you like, and use that as a baseline going forward.
So wonderful. I had the misfortune of not measuring and being in a rush and realizing something was too long that was A-line and not having time to do all the things. And I'm like, I'm just going to try and hem it. You can't do that because there's too much fabric. And so it was, I had to like let it go and then walk another way. So yes, please take the time to do that. Before we kind of wrap, this is amazing. Love it. I want to make sure that everybody gets their questions in. Does anybody else have any questions, comments? Has anybody made any of these tops yet that are here? Let me just go through the comments a little bit. Don't think there's anything else so far. All right. I'm getting the vibe that you've shown us everything you've brought, correct?
Yeah, most of
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I mean, if you have more, this is your time. I just no, I want to see all the things.
Yeah, we have a couple other ones. Let me show you real quick.
Okay, Peggy said that they've made several cottage shirts, so that's great.
Good.
And Ruth said they've made several. Lisa would like to see the shirt with the flower border. I think that maybe it's behind you, that Betsy, on your other shoulder. No, the other shoulder, I think, is that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We haven't shown it yet.
Let me get myself out of the way.
So this is the Frankie shirt. As you can see, we were talking about A-line. This is a very A-line shirt. It has, again, just the collar, no stand. It's got a fabulous, I love the sleeve, two-piece sleeve.
Lisa says it's gorgeous.
Oh, good. You can see the seam there, and then it's got this asymmetrical detail at the bottom. Now, this, of course, is a border print. So if you have a border print and you're like, I don't know what to do with it, this is a great one. On the back of the Frankie, you have a fabulous, like, A-line back, and then it's got this beautiful pleat in the middle. I've always thought this would make a wonderful coat.
Oh, that would be
really, really would. Okay, it looks like we have a question. Well, we've got a couple questions. One is, which top would be the best one for fitted shoulders?
I would actually say the Florence. So this This is the Florence. She has, again, kind of an A-line shape and these interesting front tucks, but she fits really well in the shoulders. That is actually what I'm wearing, but I made it into a dress.
Of course.
Um, and it's got like a yoke in the back and then this interesting button placket, which is just for decoration. You're not buttoning up the back. But she, I think probably she and the Venice are the most fitted in the shoulders of this group.
And we've actually made this into a classic button down because it had such a great fit in the shoulders, set in sleeve, you know, traditional collar and stand. So it did make a nice classic shirt once we shortened it and made it a little bit more fitted.
Yeah. So I would, if you're looking for fitted shoulders, I think the Florence and again the Venice.
And then we have a question. Let's see. I'm sorry, I've lost the name, but someone wanted to see if you had any samples of the London shirt with you.
We can grab one. I'll grab one.
Okay.
No worries if you don't, but let's see. Andrea's saying, I love the now and Zen patterns as they have very unusual collar details. Amazing.
We did think about bringing, we just chose a few things, but the Zen is a really interesting pattern because it has a double collar. And I guess Betsy, if you want to show off the London, and then I can grab the Zen.
Well, let me get her buttons here. This is the London. She's in a rayon. We've done her in cottons and linens and pretty much anything really. So again, a little more loose fitting, and this is a little more loose fitting in the shoulders. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's got interesting diagonal seams that go from the side towards the front. Can you see that very well?
Yeah, definitely.
And like a little open side there. And then the back is it's just a plain A-line. It doesn't have a yoke or anything. This is probably one of our most popular patterns. I think this and the Cottage in terms of shirts. We see people wearing them all the time. We see, you know, people making 12 different versions of the same pattern. Oh, we've lost the sleeve. And then this collar, again, that simple, just collar into the shirt, no stand.
And this is the now. I would say this is also a contender for most popular pattern.
Oh, that's true. Sorry.
And this is the collar that she mentioned that's really interesting. It's all one piece. It's pretty, you know, tall collar here, and it's open at the center front. So it's a big loop.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's a really cool detail.
What do you think? Oops, I didn't mean to replace myself. Sorry about that. What do you think makes the tops that are your most popular the most popular? Because your classics are not classic. So I'm super curious to see what really draws people in.
Well, I think people might be attracted initially to however we've, you know, fabricated them, the initial design, and they get it to fit them and they love it. And then they experiment with it. And so I think when you take something like the now that is fairly simple, but it has really interesting details, it really opens itself up to changing it, lengthening it, adding a pocket, you know, changing the sleeve. So I think when you have a good base, but that has just that little extra something, I think that really grabs them, and then they can run with it with their own creativity.
And Rebecca says that ease and style are the other things.
There you go.
Yeah, wearability.
Ask the audience.
Yeah, I know, we've got you here. Well, I would love to open up for anybody to have a chat, to comment, to ask questions before we round this amazing session out. Take advantage of this time. This is a rare occasion where you can sit and just chat about the ins and outs of these amazing garments. Give them a second. And then I'm waiting to see if co-founder Julie is on. Let's see. Tyrion, again, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. I have a wide wale corduroy and I've been looking for the Era jacket. Would you recommend it?
Mm.
Oh, I think that would be great.
Yeah, be super cute.
The Era jacket is a night, has so many interesting details, but it's fairly simple. And we've also used our day jacket in a corduroy. So I think I could come up with other things. The Tremont,
The
the
LaFonda work in a wide wale.
oh,
LaFonda would be real cute.
there you go.
Mhm.
Amazing. I'm not sure why this is not working. So Susan wants to know if Betsy, if you changed the body shape of your dress.
I did a little bit. So the Florence, I think you might be able to see it a little bit better. So it's pretty A-line and it's got these tucks. So when I did the dress, I lengthened it. It still goes out. It still has the rounded shape to it, but I did get rid of the tucks and I brought it in a little bit so it wasn't quite so rounded.
And you have that
And
detail in the
yeah.
back too, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
think cinches it in.
Mm-hmm. I put a little belt on it and then I did these little button loops.
That's cute.
So
Sleep.
cute.
Yeah.
It's so cute. All right. Well, this has been amazing. Thank you so much. We are going to do a little demo of Stitchbook. You mentioned, I'm hoping that Julie's going to do it because my voice is slowly giving out. And so I would much rather you be able to hear. So I think I'm going to work on making Julie a co-host in just a second. But we're going to be showing Stitchbooks because you mentioned body measurements. You mentioned altering different um, lengths of sleeves and sizes, taking the making a top a dress, changing fabrics to make it, different tops a coat versus. And Stitchbook is great for that because you can make a note for every single thing that you've done each time. So you can go back and play, and your measurements are there. They are not public, don't worry. Your measurements are there for you to keep. So you can always go back. I go back to them all the time and for the profile I created for my teenager whenever I'm shopping too for like ready to wear stuff and I need to look too. Like they're always there. I always use the Stitchbook. So we're gonna do um a little demo of that while we're getting that set up. Is there anything that you want to share that's new? I know LaFonda's new, but is there anything that's happening in your world that you're really excited about right now? Any events or any fun new things on the horizon?
Well, we're getting ready to release our 2027 events, so that is coming next month. We do have a fun, I won't give too much away, but there will be an overseas trip, another overseas trip, and we're going to do another great workshop. This time not in Santa Fe, but it's going to be very exciting. One thing that we do that is always popular are Sew Kansas events here in Topeka, where people can come and they can sew any sewing workshop pattern that they want. They can shop the fabric. We can help them with fits. We do have a couple spaces left for July, I think.
Maybe
One
or two.
or two. So if you're in the area or you're just ready to get into it, it'd be great if you came to see us.
Amazing, amazing.
And we also do have a program called So Confident. We kind of touched on the fact that we do education, and that is our education platform that we do. So we have monthly projects within that platform.
Every month it's a new pattern, it's a new project. We offer kits, and that has been a really great, I think, educational outlet for both us and the customers. We work on new projects all the time. So.
Right. And our next project is taking a top and making it into a dress, which is a very interesting process of pattern work, a lot of interesting pattern work. So that'll be a really cute project.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing to see. Okay, I'm having some technical issues, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try one more time to see if I can make Julie a co-host, and if not, you're going to have to listen to Raspy Voice give you it looks like you're going to have to listen to Raspy Voice. So we're going to do this. So I'm going to just show everyone really quickly, and I'll make it quick. And there's a much better demo well, you can go and try it. It's easy, but also co-founder Ursula was on your live on Tuesday that's recorded, and she gave an amazing walkthrough too. And we'll post a link in your forum on
Great.
SewShare.com as well. But I'm going to just do a quickie, just a quickie so that you can see it because I'm super, super excited about it. Give me one second.
Betsy, you neglected to mention that if you come to Topeka, there are literally hundreds of sewn garments in
Yes.
your archive that you can try on. And if there's a silhouette that you're not so sure about, you can try it on and see how it's going to work out.
Yes.
Yes.
And some people just come and try on clothes.
That's
So
so
they can,
fun.
yeah, so they can decide like what size they want, what works for them. You would be surprised how many people come just to try on.
Mhm.
Thank you, Diane.
Oh, that's amazing. I love a try-on party. I love a try-on party. Thank you, Diane. Okay, so really quickly, so I'm over on SewShare.com and I've clicked on Stitchbook, which you can see is right up there. And this is my profile. And you can see over on the right, I have a wish list. And you can see right here at the top is the cottage top. So that I will never forget that it's there. And I can click on that and it'll go directly to the shop. I have a fit profile. I'm sharing this with you all because we're all friends now, but this is not public. Where all my measurements are there. I am, there is the ability to upload different views. For some reason, it's not loading, but you can add your different views of yourself for something that's coming later. That's pretty exciting. You can give different profiles for people that you sew. So this is for somebody in my family. So that's super amazing. Then you can look at your projects. These are this is the sleeve I was telling you about. I said I just had like a monster project and puff sleeves are having a moment. 32-inch circumference, my friends. Yeah, it had its own little mini crinoline, but I digress. So each of these, it's like a little journal, which I love. I'm also a knitter, and there's something semi-related called Ravelry, where you can track everything about your project, and it's something that I'm really accustomed to, and I love. But you can also look at all of the projects that are public, that are made public. So you can see what other people are making. You can click on it. You can see the details. You can see their notes. You can make comments, support each other. It's really, really fun. So and then if you want to add a project, you click add a project. And let's say I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go for it with the cottage top. I'm going to do it. I'm taking the leap. Well, if it is on SewShare, it will come up, and it is. And so that pattern will automatically link. I'm going to select that it's a garment. It'll say, I can put if it's for an event. This one isn't, it's just for me. I'm going to choose my profile. It automatically populated the techniques for color and bias. And so that means sewing on the bias, excuse me. So that means that you can click on them and it'll take you straight to a curated selection of video tutorials on that. You can this is where you'd make those notes about lengthening the sleeve or turning it into a dress or whatever you're going to do. You can add process photos, and I can show you that in a second. The difficulty, your satisfaction, you can add your fabrics. If it's in the shop here on SewShare.com, you can search it. If it's not, like let's say that you are using one of the the specialized fabrics from the sewing workshop, you can just put a link to that here. And it'll populate. You can put your status when you started, when you finish it. And it just, for me, it really kept me motivated because there's a little bit of accountability and it's totally self-imposed. But if I see, that's the little crinoline that goes under the sleeve. But if I post steps, it keeps me visually motivated. And that means that I'm a little bit more personally successful making a project. And if we're successful making projects, then we make more projects and we keep sewing and we keep talking to each other. Um, and just fabric fangirling, boying, or anybody in between together. And that is just my favorite thing to do with this community. And so thank you so much. The sewing workshop has been one of the most supportive small businesses on SewShare.com. That is the utter foundation of the company is to help support one another. That means the sewists, that means the small businesses working together. And the sewing workshop has absolutely walked the walk, and we're so appreciative. Any share, any free membership really helps this female founded business keep going. And we are so happy to have spent the time with you here. This has been our biggest event so far. I've actually personally never had it come to the limit of how many people we could have in a Zoom room. So that's exciting. And that is a huge testament to the amazing work that the Sewing Workshop has done, not only with their community, but obviously with their design, their instructions, backing them up. So thank you so much from the SewShare team. And thank you to everybody who's watching it live. If you're watching it recorded, put those questions in the forum. We will be there, either the SewShare team or the Sewing Workshop team. Somebody will be there, or even better, you, because you are an amazing knowledge base. The community has such a larger hive mind than any one of us could, no matter how much schooling we've had. We'll answer questions, share, show your works in progress, show those FOs. We want to see them all. And check out Stitchbook, start a project, wish list all these projects. Love it. Thank you so much, Erin. Thank you so much, Betsy. It has been such a pleasure being here with you. Thank you for dealing with this situation.
No problem.
I'm fired up to, I didn't think I'd want to go back to my sewing machine after that big monster project, but I am fired up now and I'm about to head back. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you soon, hopefully on the boards.
Thank
Bye.
you.
All right. Thank you so much.